It wasn't just a wall. It didn't shine with marble or echo with patriotic songs. There were no flags, no statues, just a long, matte black slab tucked away at the edge of the base, past the barracks and motor pool. Quiet, still. The kind of place the wind always moved a little slower. And every Sunday just before sunrise a man would appear, always the same. No one saw him arrive. He was just there, standing alone, silent, eyes on one section of the wall, hands in his pockets, head slightly bowed. He never spoke, never brought flowers, never sat, just stood in front of the same panel every time. At first no one noticed. Marines had drills, chow runs, inspections. Those who did spot him assumed he was maintenance or an old civilian contractor. He wore no name tag, gave no salutes. Some joked he was a ghost, someone who didn't know the war was over, but one Marine noticed more. Private First Class Luis Reyes, just 19, sharp-eyed, respectful. He'd grown up with whispers of Vietnam at family tables, names no one said out loud, photos hidden in drawers. So when he saw the man standing there week after week, something about it stuck. The stillness, the ritual, the silence that felt heavier than the air. Reyes started showing up a little earlier each Sunday, not to interfere, just to watch. He saw things others didn't, the man's posture always straight, but never stiff. His boots, worn but polished, the thermos under his arm, dented, scratched, not bought but handed down. And that wall, always the same panel, section 3, row 5, 7 names, all from the same year, 1970. Then, one cold morning, everything changed. A gust of wind rolled through the yard, sharp enough to lift the cuff of the old man's sleeve just for a second, and that's when Reyes saw it, a tattoo. Faded, aged into the skin, not loud or flashy, no skulls, no flames, no slogans, just 5 numbers, a triangle, and a symbol he didn't recognize. It didn't look like anything modern, nothing from boot camp, no eagle, globe, or anchor. That night, Reyes sketched it on the back of a receipt and asked his sergeant. The man barely looked before shrugging it off. Cold War stuff, not our era. Best not to go digging. But Reyes couldn't. Let it go. He searched for hours, nothing matched, until he found a forgotten veterans forum. One post, one image, almost identical. A private reply came days later. Delta 7 Mac VSOG Laos 70, don't ask again. The next Sunday, Reyes arrived earlier than ever and stepped closer. The old man didn't turn, didn't speak, but Reyes could now see the tattoo clearly. That triangle wasn't just ink. It was a designation, a ghost signature, something not meant for public eyes. He hesitated, then asked softly, "Sir, was that Delta 7? The man didn't answer at first. Then, with a slow turn of the head, he met Reyes's eyes. "Once," he said. Just that. One word. But it was enough. From that moment, everything changed. Wordless respect began to ripple through the base. Another Marine noticed, then another. Quietly, without orders, more began to show up. They didn't speak, didn't form up. They just stood, at a distance, not to intrude, but to witness. Then, one Sunday, Reyes finally asked, "Sir, who are they?" The old man didn't answer right away. His eyes stayed fixed on the names. "They were my brothers," he said at last. "We dropped in together. Only one came out." The truth hit Reyes like a cold wind. They sent 8 of us, south of the border. No maps, no backup, ambushed. I carried 3 out. 2 survived. 1 didn't. He paused. The rest were gone before the first shot stopped ringing. Reyes could barely breathe. They gave me a medal I didn't want. Wrote up a report they buried in a drawer. Told me to move on. So I did. I shut up. And I came here. Every Sunday. For 53 years, Reyes asked. "Why here?" The old man's voice didn't waver. "Because their names are here, even if mine isn't." That day, the silence around him became sacred. He finally gave his name. Staff Sergeant Samuel Greer. 1st Recon. Mac VSOG, Delta 7. He handed Reyes a weathered coin with those words, placed it in his palm and closed the young Marine's fingers around it. "I carried that for a long time," he said. "Time for someone else to know what it means." And from that Sunday on, everything shifted. No orders were given. No command announced it. But the wall was never empty again. Marines began gathering in silence, some in uniform, some not. Some brought coffee. Some brought nothing but presents. One lance corporal placed a single 45 round below the names. Others followed. Challenge coins, dog tags, unit patches, silent gestures of memory. Greer never asked for it, never acknowledged it. But he stayed a little longer each time, and every Sunday the silence deepened, not with sorrow but with reverence, because now they all understood. This man wasn't visiting the wall. He was the wall, not carved in stone, but etched in silence, in loyalty, in a story few would ever know unless they looked closely enough to see past the jacket, past the quiet routine, to the truth inked into his skin. Have you ever met someone like that? Someone who never boasted, never asked for thanks, but carried a story the world almost forgot? If you have, share their name in the comments. Let their memory stand. And if you believe stories like this must be heard, subscribe. Because not all heroes live in textbooks. Some just show up every Sunday and wait for someone to notice.